A milestone for those living with Alzheimer's disease. Just last month, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid agreed to provide individual care plans to support patients.
WENY's Isabel Garcia talked with a woman from Elmira who currently lives with Alzheimer's and what this new milestone means for her. Isabel?
Nick, Logan, the new measure is in line with the bipartisan legislation titled the HOPE Act. It essentially pays for time for doctors and medical teams to spend with patients and their families for care planning to help them navigate a very complicated issue.
Cynthia Hewlin-Hummel was diagnosed this past January with clinical Alzheimer's disease. Back in 2011, when she was initially diagnosed with cognitive impairment, she decided to sign up for an Alzheimer's Association 8-week introductory class. The first time she attempted to go to a meeting, however, it was heartbreaking.
I signed up for that class. It was held at the Big Flats Community Center. And I drove to that class and I sat in the parking lot and I cried. I just was so sad about the whole situation.
Cynthia says she was able to shift her mentality to be more positive and stay on top of the disease. The recently passed measure allows patients like Cynthia to have an idea of where to go next with medical support following a diagnosis.
Having an early diagnosis is so important because it gives you time to put your house in order. You need to think about, what steps you need to take as the disease progresses. And so just having that time to talk about it and being able to have it billed and paid for is a huge relief.
According to research, the average age of a person diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease is 65 years old. Oftentimes, it's not the only health issue the patient is facing.
What happens is people who have Alzheimer's disease and have all these other problems do much worse in terms of their diabetes and their hypertension and their heart disease. The cost of a patient who has Alzheimer's disease and they have diabetes, the cost of taking care for the diabetes is almost twice as much.
For Cynthia, the HOPE Act means a promise for a better future.
For me, the word hope is hanging on, knowing that you can still have a happy life. You can still make a contribution to our community. There's so much that we can still do. And rather than focus on disabilities, rather than focus on the things we can no longer do, to focus on the way we can still make a difference.
The new measure goes into effect beginning in January 2017. For resources about the HOPE Act or Alzheimer's Association, log on to our website, WENY.com, and click on this story. Reporting in the studio, Isabel Garcia, WENY News.